What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. So we are back here again, you guys. R. Kelly, Surviving R. Kelly, The Reckoning, Season 2. And this is going to focus more on the aftermath, like what happened after Lifetime dropped this documentary, docu-series last year. So we have some new information, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna tell you what went down, give you my opinion like I always do. But let me preface this by saying that I'm a little leery about certain things, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's a 50-50 situation, meaning once the dam breaks, you will get a lot more people saying, hey, this happened to me too. Hence, #MeToo. But the flip side of that is you will get people who just want to be a part of the conversation, and it may or may not have happened to them. And so I'm leery about some things as we go through the series. I'm leery about some of the information. But overall, in this particular episode, I felt that everybody was genuine. Even the people I didn't agree with, I do feel like it was genuine. So let's just talk about it. But I just want to preface that for the purposes of moving forward, that me repeating stuff doesn't necessarily mean I agree or believe all of what I'm saying. I'm just giving you the breakdown. We start the episode off sort of revisiting his brother in jail. He has two brothers. He has the brother that's in jail, and then he has his younger brother, Corey. I forgot the older brother's name. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. And we remember the older brother from the last time, and basically he was like, look, I got my brother's back, And he was sort of making excuses for his brother and justifying his brother's behavior. I feel as though either A, he has seen the series and maybe saw all the other elements of this, and maybe he is accepting of some things about his brother that maybe when they did the documentary the first time, maybe he felt like he was protecting his brother, or maybe he really didn't have all of the information. But at the end of the day, he loves his brother, and I think it's really hurting him to see what his brother is going through. And like he said, he was like, he can't handle this. He's not made for this. Like he said, we came from nothing. And for him to come from nothing to become world renowned, travel the world, have money, have all these things, to come back to nothing. He said, he ain't cut out for this. He's like, I can do this. Well, you in jail, you doing it. And again, I'm not saying I have sympathy for R. Kelly. I'm just telling you what the situation is. But him and the brother both opened up about some information that they didn't share the first time, or Lifetime didn't air it the first time. And what we found out is that there was a guy in the neighborhood, they even named him. They gave us his name. His name was Mr. Henry. Now, I don't know if that was his real name or if that's the name Lifetime went with just for the purposes of the argument. But Mr. Henry was a neighborhood guy, older guy. They said he was probably in his 50s or 60s. And he was known as a, neighborhood, the guy in the neighborhood that you kind of have to give the side eye to. And they said they were in his apartment, and he exposed himself to them and, swore them to secrecy, that they wouldn't tell anything. And come to find out, I feel like if I remember, R. Kelly spent more time with him, and some things happened, and basically he got beat up. The neighborhood beat his ass. The police was called, and when the police got there, the police sort of, let the beating go on for a few more minutes before they actually arrested him. And then come to find out that he offered R. Kelly's mother $5,000 to not show up in court. And she took the $5,000 and didn't show up in court, and the charges were dismissed. You can make your judgments however you choose to make your judgments. I know how I feel about it. I don't think that there's enough money you could pay me if my child had been violated. But again, and what's funny is that's what his brother said. Now, what Lifetime did while his brother was saying that about there's no amount of money if this happened to my child, blah, 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 they were splicing in pictures of the young ladies, the victims. They were splicing the pictures in, which basically, you know, it says, it brings it back around to, if it were your child, there's no amount of money, but your brother is accused of abusing all of these young women. You're defending them. Anyway, then they went on to talk about a family friend. A female family friend who Corey, the younger brother, said she abused me. And pretty certain she abused R. Kelly. So again, we getting a little bit more information on the accusation that he was abused as a child. Then we meet the main victim that we get to see in this episode. We learn we learn more about Faith. Now, Faith actually was the one that was suing R. Kelly. Gloria Allred was her attorney, and she was suing R. Kelly. And so then they started getting into the premiere and what happened sort of as after the effect of it. And we know that at the premiere there was a bomb threat. And how these women, you know, the women did not know each other while they were filming the documentary. The first time a lot of these women met each other was at the premiere. And these women have gone through so much as a result of coming forward. And it really made me ashamed. You know, I have a really big problem with blaming the victim. I just do. I always, you know, unless it's just a totally outrageous, ridiculous story, I'm going to always give the victims the benefit of the doubt. And for us to create an environment where these women, this one young lady, McGee, she said that I feel like they're not going to be happy until the headline reads, A. McGee, because her first name begins with A McGee, R. Kelly accuser found dead of suicide. And that hit me when she said that. She said, I didn't want to get out of bed. I just wanted to sleep my way through it. And when I woke up, it was still going on. And I was depressed all over again. She said she was getting threats in her DMs, emails. People were reaching out to her. However, the other young lady, Geronda, says she had to move out of Illinois. She said that she was approached twice at the mall and was threatened. They threatened to beat her up. And one time she was with her daughters. The young lady, Faith, there were pictures, nude pictures released of her. And what I found interesting is her parents, her father's a reverend, mom was a first lady, pastor, first lady. And one thing I found interesting was after the premiere, all of these women were threatened from wherever source. Now, Jocelyn's parents seem to think it's like an organized, you know, situation where R. Kelly has a group of people that go after his accusers, and they, you know, they go and they seek out their accusers and they go after them. I don't know whether it's that organized or if it's more random, but neither here nor there. There was a concerted attack almost as soon as this documentary dropped to go after these women. There were Facebook pages created, Instagram pages, Twitter pages, and there's one called oh shoot, I don't even want to say the name of it because I don't even want to send nobody over there, but it was about their whole purpose of existing was to try to expose the accusers. The McGee accuser said that they posted her mugshot. She was like, okay, yeah, I was arrested. You know, she said, but I wasn't convicted of anything. And my thing is, you don't even have to defend yourself about being convicted of anything, because that has nothing to do with whether you were taken advantage of, whether you were raped, it has nothing to do with any of that. Like, I don't give a damn if you did, do whatever you were accused of doing. That doesn't negate whether you were taken advantage of by R. Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to defend your past. And that's the one thing they brought up. They said, this created an environment where the women had to justify themselves. And I remember people saying that, well, why would they do this? And why would they do that? And the parents this and the parents that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if people made bad decisions. What matters is if a 30-year-old man or a 40-year-old man or a 20-something-year-old man was purposely seeking out young girls for the purposes of sex and exploitation. Does it matter if somebody made a bad decision to create the situation for it to happen? That's like telling a rape victim, well, why did you wear that short skirt? Does that mean somebody was supposed to rape me because I had on a short skirt? And so they did explore that, and they talked about that, the fact that, those are the things that were being thrown at them. Well, why did you wear that outfit? Why did you go backstage? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And in Faith's situation, she was lying to her parents. Her parents didn't even know what she was doing. She was lying. She said she lied about everything dealing with her relationship with R. Kelly to her parents. They did not know what was going on between her and R. Kelly. Nothing at all until it was too late. She talked about she's in therapy. She doesn't go to church regularly. She doesn't go to family outings. She said that even though her parents say all of the right things to her, she is embarrassed and she feels that she's disappointed them. Pictures were released of her, and they threatened to release videos of her having sex. And again, I say, well, we know she had sex with R. Kelly. That is what she's telling us. Duh. So to me, it's like, I know it's an embarrassing piece of it that someone would release a video of you having sex. I know that's embarrassing, but it also proves the case. It also proves the case. Duh. Now, then I got to the end of this thing, and this is where I got pissed off. They interviewed one of R. Kelly's former assistants and her sister. And they proceeded to talk about blaming the victims. They proceeded to talk about how R. Kelly didn't do nothing wrong, and they didn't have any part of pedophilia, and they don't feel like they did anything to assist R. Kelly in doing anything wrong. And they went on this whole tirade about how he didn't do nothing wrong, and we didn't have nothing to do with it. And, then she's going to say, I believe in the criminal justice system. If you are raped, then you seek the police out immediately, and you file a report, and you let the justice system handle it. I don't like what we're seeing, where we're just seeing the public making these decisions. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope don't nothing ever happen to you. Because in this day and age, for people to still have that archaic attitude about sexual assault, that it is that easy for somebody to just get up from being raped, abused, and everything else and run to the police. I'm glad you think it's that easy. And for you to say that she worked for him, I think altogether like 7 years. You mean to tell me that in 7 years' time you never saw anything? Like, I just, everybody not lying. Everybody's not lying. They talked to Dame Dash. He didn't dig too deep. I think they're going to continue to interview more, and he's going to get more to the story with Aaliyah. But he said that, his attitude was, I knew it was true because of my relationship with Aaliyah. I knew it was true, and I just couldn't understand why he was still out of jail. And I think we beat that to death in the first documentary about why he wasn't in jail and all of that. And I know we're going to get more information about the trial and stuff like that. But this first episode was really just an overview about the backlash. But the main thing that really stood out to me in this first one was them giving us more information on the abuse he suffered as a child from the family friend. And the one brother almost said the name, and then he said, "Nah, I can't do it," and he stopped himself. But they said enough that I think if you are in their family, I think you probably know who they talking about. But yeah, I was okay until the end where them two women was defending him, and child. So anyway, y'all, that was episode 1, honey. We're gonna see what they was talking about in episode 2. I'm not sure how many episodes it is, probably 5 or 6 episodes. But we're gonna see how this works out. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.